welcome to another up close video. Today's one is another Arteza up close video, and you might think, why am I doing this video when I've already done a video on the iridescent acrylic paints and I've already done a video on their pouring acrylic paints? Well, they have recently brought out these sets of 4 bottles of the pouring acrylics, and you actually get a bottle that is double the size. So I thought any of you who saw my video looking at the 32 sets, but you know, this is, I think it's 50 something pounds, or I think I paid £60 for my first box of them. But you know, that's quite a lot to invest in it if you don't know if you're going to like acrylic pouring. So I thought I'd show you the different colour variations of the 6 different sets of 4 of the acrylic pouring paints. So if you wanted to just have a go, these are, I think they're £14.99. So it's, you know, it's much cheaper than buying the large box with all the different colours. But you can sort of have a play with them and experiment and see if you think that you're going to enjoy acrylic pouring. And I'm pretty sure you can actually get the I'm not sure if it's the smaller bottles or the larger ones. I'd presume it's the larger ones. I think you can buy them individually as well. So some of the colour selections of 4 don't include white. I think 3 of them include a white bottle and 3 of them don't. So in some of the cases I have used a white with the other colours to sort of give a different look as well. So you might want to invest in a separate bottle of white if the 4-pack that you choose doesn't have a white one in it. But I thought it would just be really interesting to show you what these colours look like together and like what kind of backgrounds that you could achieve with them. So yesterday evening I went through and I filmed a portion for a sped up video, so there'll be a sped up video at some point soon as well with the backgrounds, where I used the colours in the 4 sets with an iridescent colour just to see how they go together, not even watering this down or like with a pouring medium, but just using them together to create some salad spinner backgrounds, because I also did an up close video recently on how to use a salad spinner to create some really cool backgrounds, and I said in that video that I would probably be doing a separate video with the pouring acrylics, you know, doing that kind of technique, because I know I've seen a lot of people using like a banding wheel or a lazy Susan to create that kind of look. So a salad spinner works just as brilliantly, and I'll be showing you all those backgrounds as I go through the colour schemes of each of the little 4-packs as well. But I just wanted to say there will be a sped up video too, so if you're not interested in me waffling on for ages and you just want to see acrylic pouring paints used with a salad spinner background as well in the different colour schemes, there will be a sped up video showing you that. So I've got those backgrounds to show you, and I haven't finished the cards yet, but in that video I will finish the cards off as well, if that made any sense. So if I manage to get a 10% discount code for you, I'll put it up here on the screen so that you can get it. I haven't currently got one, but I'm hoping to get one, so I'll put it up here. And if you'd like to, you can use the links below the video, which are my affiliate links to both the Arteza websites, the UK and the USA one. And if you use those links, whether you're buying any of these paints that I show you or anything else off of the website, if you click the link, any of the links below the video, and then you then go to the website and you place an order, I'll get a small commission of however much you spent on that order. And it really does make a big difference to me, although it doesn't actually cost you anything. You're basically just placing the order as you would, but if you've clicked through my link, then I'll get something in return as well. So and it really does make a difference. I know I've said this in a few of my tonic videos recently, but I also have affiliate links for Arteza as well, so it really does make a difference having that little bit of extra income from you using my links, which is really great. And you'll also have the 10% off code, hopefully it'll be here on the screen, to be able to use as well, to get you a little bit of a discount too. So where do I start? I've got so many different things I want to show you, but you know, I've got to get it out in a decent order. So I think I'll show you first the 4 set that I've actually got. So I don't actually have all of the large sets of these, but so I think firstly I will show you the difference in size between the 2 different bottles. So I only have this 4-pack of the large bottles to show you, but all of the colours that are in the large bottles are also in the 32 set of paints. but not all of the 32 set of paints are in the large bottles. So there's actually 11 colours from the 32 set that aren't in these larger bottles, but they are all of the colours that they have chosen to put in the large bottles within the little colour sets are really lovely colours, and they're probably some of my favourites out of the large 32 set anyway. So I think they've done a great job picking out these gorgeous colours. But this is the size difference between the bottles. So in the 32 colour set, the bottles were 2 fluid ounces, or roughly 60 millilitres, and these bottles within the 4 sets are in 4 fluid ounces bottles, or roughly 120 millilitres. So you're basically getting double the amount of paint, but you're only getting it in 4 colours rather than getting a whole mixture of colours, which is, it's really lovely actually, especially if they've put a colour scheme together that like goes with your lounge or your kitchen or your bedroom or something. You know you're going to be able to get quite a few projects out of it with having a larger amount of paint, rather than only having, you know, the small bottle and then still having all of the other colours left within the 32 set. So I think these are really lovely, having these 4 sets. I can't remember if I just said it, but I don't have all of the large bottles to show you. The large set that Arteza really kindly sent me was this one, which is called the Orchid tones. So I've got these 4 in the large scale, and all of the other sets I will show you the exact colours that are in the sets, but I will be showing you the smaller bottles rather than the larger bottles. But this is how they come. It's a really nice, decent sized box actually. They fit absolutely perfectly in there, so like having these all stacked on your shelf, obviously you'd want to keep them this way so that they're up the right way, but it actually says that they're acrylic pouring colours. It doesn't actually say the name on the side of the box, it only says it on the front, but you could easily write the name on the side and then have them all like that on a bookcase so that you can see them all. So that's really lovely too. I do love their packaging. They always fit the box perfectly to whatever's inside it. And actually, I meant to show you this as well. I told you this video will be a bit all over the place. But so I originally had the set of the iridescent acrylic colours. You've seen me do a video on them before, and I love them so much. I've hardly got anything left in most of my bottles. But they've actually changed the design of them. So the box is different. The box now looks like this. I think the last one had like green and goldy kind of swirly tones all over it, and it now looks like this. You get the exact same colours within the set of acrylic paints, but they are now in the same bottles as the pouring paints, and because these bottles are kind of a matte finish, you don't actually see that iridescence. I don't know if the orange one has that much iridescence showing through, but you don't actually see the iridescence through the bottle. So I definitely recommend putting that swatch on the cap of these as well. And I also do that with my pouring paints too. I put the little swatch on the top so that I know just from glancing in the box what colour that is, and it also shows you how opaque it is as well. So for the acrylic pouring colours, it shows you what it would look like if you kind of poured onto a black canvas or a black piece of card. And then for the iridescent colours, it shows you the mica that shows through on the black. So you can see it's kind of a purple. This is the shady orange, but on white it looks more orange, but on black it kind of has a bit of a purpley blue kind of mica in there. But I just wanted to show you the difference between the bottles. So when I've been using them, I'm still using the old style bottle, but the new style bottle looks exactly like the acrylic pouring bottles. So if you love things to look uniform on your shelf and you have all of the bottles out of their packaging, and they're going to look really lovely together because they're all exactly the same style bottle, which is actually quite nice. Because I think they will fit in, yeah they do, they fit in like nail varnish racks that would fit your Nuvo drops and stuff in. They fit in those kind of rack systems, so you could have them all out of their boxes and just have them all out on display as well, which is lovely. Obviously the large bottles wouldn't fit in that, but the smaller bottles would. So I am sorry if this chops all over the place, but I've just got so many things in my brain that I want to share that I've got to try and get it all out without muddling it up too much for you. But let's go through and have a look at the samples that I have done, and in each case I will show you the 4 different colours that come within that set. So with the set that I got given, which is the Orchid tones, this is the kind of results you can get using them in the salad spinner, but it's using them with different kind of extra colours. So in some cases I've only used the 4 that are in the box, but this one I used the 4 from the box plus the shady orange iridescent acrylic as well, so that this darker tone here, you can see it's much more shiny than the acrylic pouring colours. They kind of dry with a nice matte sort of finish to them, but the iridescent colours are shiny, and they also show that sort of iridescent effect coming through on them as well. And this is using the salad spinner to get this cool sort of spun kind of pattern. And then these two, I really did like this colour scheme actually. I wasn't sure, like, especially with spinning them on the salad spinner, I wasn't sure if all these 4 colours were going to go together really nicely, but I did really love the way they were coming out. And with these two, I combined them with the white, which I had also put some silicone in as well. So you kind of got a little bit of the cell effect where they were kind of overlapping on top of each other. And I really like the colours that it produces when they mix, because when I looked at the box, I was a bit like, where's this kind of like dark red sort of colour come from? But it does actually appear. It is a mixture of that neon purple with the neon orange. It really gives that deep red colour when they kind of overlap and mix together. And obviously when you're doing an acrylic pour, you do get that mixing between the different colours. So that is this Orchid tone set. That was adding a little bit of white in, but obviously it would just be, there would be slightly less pastel sort of tones if you just use the 4 colours by themselves without the white. And then this was trying them, adding in one of the iridescent colours, because I thought I've been wanting to mix them together and see what would happen. So this is using the pouring paints in their actual pouring paint consistency, and plus just using the iridescent colours straight from the bottle. So they are a thicker acrylic anyway, because they're not mixed with a pouring medium. So they kind of give a little bit of texture, if I can hold that right. They're sort of more 3D. You can see it's kind of raised up a little bit more off the card, so I think it gives a really nice effect. And I think also this would look lovely if you then came back in with the same colour of iridescent and watered it down and splattered on top of it as well. I think that would give a really cool look too. And my idea for the sped up video, which I haven't filmed the second half of yet, is to take these backgrounds and take some die cuts and stuff, and maybe have even just like a sentiment in the middle of it, or maybe bringing in some different like floral elements or a panel die and trying to use them in that kind of way, or even putting them behind an aperture as well. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do with them yet, but that sped up video will be out roughly the same time as this video, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you want to know what I'm going to do with these backgrounds and how I'm going to turn them into cards. So that is the first 4 set of colours, which is the Orchid tones. So all of the rest of the ones I'm going to show you are going to just be the small bottles, but you would be getting big bottles if you got the actual sets of them that I'll link below. So this is the next colour scheme, which is the 4 colours that you're getting, but I added in the fancy black from the iridescent colours range, because I thought the fancy black looks gold on black. You can kind of see it's got that gold kind of finish to it rather than just looking like black. So I thought that would go really nicely, because this set is just called the metallics, and it has got the gold, the silver, the bronze, and then also white in here. And you can see on my white one I have written silicone, because I like the look of the cells that appear in acrylic pouring. But obviously, because these are already pre-mixed, I don't want to have to decant some of this out to then mix some silicone with it to get that kind of effect. So instead, I know that I'm going to want to use white with practically every single kind of pour that I want to do. So I decided to just dedicate a bottle of white and add some of my silicone to it. I bought this one, the 6000 silicone oil. This is very viscous though. You don't need it to be about 6,000. You could probably get away with 1,000 or 2,000, but I wasn't sure when I bought this what kind of viscosity you would need the silicone oil to be. So you don't have to go for this high of a viscosity. You can go for the slightly thinner sort of silicone oils as well. And I literally just squeeze maybe like 5 or 10 drops for a full bottle and then shake it up. And then every time I use the white, I shake it up so that the silicone sort of mixes back in with the rest of everything. So this is the kind of results you'll get for using this selection, but in both cases I have added in the fancy black. And this kind of look here is because of the silicone in the white, and on this one I put the white more over the top of the other colours, whereas on this one I kind of layered the colours on top of the white to give that kind of a look as well. And you can see that beautiful metallic effect that you get from just the metallic colours of pouring paint, but you've also got that mica-y kind of effect from the iridescent paint as well, which I think is just really lovely, and I think they go really nicely together. Obviously, if I hadn't have used the fancy black in there, it would have given you a much more subtle mixed metal background, but I thought that black would just go really nicely with it. And I love this kind of spiderwebby effect that you get, because the fancy black is obviously a more viscous paint because it's not got the pouring medium within it. It moves differently when you're spinning it in the salad spinner, so you get like these spidery kind of bits coming off, which I just think is so lovely. So that is the second set, which is the metallics set of them. Then the next set of the 4-pack plus the iridescent one that I've been using is the blush tones, which look like this when you use them. So this one has got the iridescent colour in that I chose, and this one has got white in it to help it kind of move around. So the iridescent colour that I chose is the glowing peach, because it has gold reflection in it. It's got like a gold mica in there. So this is a lovely pink set of colours, but it also has the gold metallic in there. So I thought it would work really nicely to add this gorgeous pink mica one in there with the gold reflection, so that it would all coordinate together really nicely. I just realised I haven't actually been telling you the colours that are in the 4 sets, so I will do a blog post to go along with this, and I will list each of the different sets with what the colours are. So if you already had the 32 set and you wanted to recreate any of these colour schemes, you can go to my blog post and have a look at these and pick out the colours from your 32 set to pick out which ones go in what 4 set of colours, and then you can also add in the iridescent ones if you want to. So I just thought I'd say that as well. So this is the salad spinner background using the 4 colours plus the iridescent, and you can see it's got that gorgeous gold mica within that pink. It is the glowing peach colour, that one. Really lovely. And I really like how it looks like there's yellow in here, but it's actually just the gold, and in some cases the gold has mixed with the pinky tones to give almost a rose gold, and in other cases it's like hit the white card and given more of a yellow look, because obviously gold next to pinks is going to look more yellow because of, you know, the contrast between them and stuff. But I really love that pop of neon pink that's in there as well, because you have got a really bright neon pink colour. So that is mixing it with the iridescent colours, and then this one was mixing it with white. And in most of the cases where I was adding white, I put the white on first and then put all the colours on top, because having the silicone in the white, you kind of want that to be underneath the other colours, so that when it spins round you then get this kind of almost cell-like effect. It is a different look to than what you would get if you were just using them for like a proper acrylic pour and doing a dirty cup and pouring it out, but it gives that kind of imitation acrylic pour sort of look, because obviously you know you don't really get the fast motion look unless you do spin your canvas or your piece of card when you're doing an acrylic pour. Although a lot of the time when I've seen people spinning a canvas, they like flood the whole thing with white first, whereas in this case the whole card isn't covered. You have areas that are just card, and then you have the paint over the top. So again, it does give a different look than if you were actually doing a proper acrylic poured canvas. So I really love that kind of feel to it as well. So we've got those 2 different ones mixing in either a white or the iridescent colour. The next set is called Spring Tones, and we actually have sea green in here as well, which I need to bring back in. So this is another one where I wasn't sure what this colour scheme would come out like, but I did really enjoy this one as well. I think the green with the coral is a really nice combination. So again, I've done 2 different ones on here. One was with one of the iridescent colours and one was just with white, and the iridescent colour that I chose was Playful Pink, because it is a white but it has that pink, almost pinky purpley reflect of the mica in there, and I thought it would kind of go with that peachy sort of tone, and I do think it worked really nicely. And what I was saying before about the paints being different viscosities, because this one is just a normal like heavy bodied sort of acrylic, it was more heavy bodied than I thought it was. So when I squirted it straight in, it's very textured here. It didn't you know, because it was so viscous, it didn't move with the motion of the salad spinner. So you kind of got more solid chunky parts, but I quite like that look actually. I think it gives a really different effect to the background. But obviously if you didn't want that look, you could have maybe squeeze some of this out into a separate container, added a little bit of water to it, and then dropped it on so that it would be slightly more loose in consistency, so that it would spin round more similarly to the actual pouring paints as well. But that is mixing the spring tone set with the playful pink iridescent colour, and then this one was mixing the spring tones with white. So we've got that kind of faux sort of acrylic pouring look with the cells in there, because I added the white with the silicone underneath the other paints first. But I really do love this colour scheme. I suppose it's quite summery really, because you kind of got like the sea and then sort of like the sun kind of within the same set. And I love how there isn't too much mixing, even though for this one I was really like dotting all of the colours all over the background, and I wasn't sure when I spun it if I was just going to get like a muddy mess because of them being sort of opposite colours on the colour wheel. But they don't actually create too much of a muddy mess. They've overlapped here, and you've got a sort of almost grey kind of tone, but I think that works really nicely with the colour scheme. So I do think that's a really lovely set of colours, and that is the spring tones. Then the next set of colours is, I've got to pick out some of them are repeated across the different sets. So this was this one, and I really enjoyed putting the shocking lime green with this. So the two that I did, I actually kept the lime green in both of them because I really liked it. And this one already has the white in the set, so both of these have white and an iridescent colour within them, but I really loved this one. I instantly wanted to do a second one of this as soon as I'd done the first one, because I just really loved how this looked. And with that shocking lime green in there as well, it really like brightens it up even more. But if you didn't put that in, it would kind of give definitely more of like a sea themed or underwater themed, so you could use any of your underwater kind of stamps to add on top of this, or die cuts and things as well. And I think that would look really lovely. But I really liked how the colours overlapped with that iridescent colour to give even more of a different green. This is almost like a grass green, but you've got that iridescent look in there as well. And then because I'd used the white, we've got a little bit of the sort of faux cell kind of look in there as well because of the silicone in the white. But this one is the aquatones. I don't think I just said that. But this is the aquatones set of paints. So if you love these kind of turquoise colours and you want to be able to do the silicone in the white, this is a fantastic set to have a play with. And then you can mix in any other colours, you know, like these ones that you have. There's also blues within the set. So there is this blue would have gone quite nicely. This is a fairy tale blue, although it has a purple kind of mica in it. I think that still would have gone quite nicely with this sort of spinning effect. Or you could even have brought in the yellow. The yellow and the green are quite similar in colour, although the yellow has more of like a reddy sort of mica within there. So again, that would have given a completely different kind of look as well. So that is the next set, and then the final set of colours that you can get in the 4 packs is this one plus white and neon orange. So this is like a gorgeous fiery kind of set of colours. Let me move those out of the way. Like a fiery sort of set with the oranges and the yellows and the reds, and then you do also get the white one in this, and I mixed it with the fiery red from the iridescent acrylic colours. But again, you could have used the shady orange or the yellow, which is dreamy lemon yellow. I think they would have all gone really nicely with this selection of colours. I did actually only do one of these for some weird reason, but that neon orange really is really punchy in there. It really like pops out at you, and I think the fiery red is not too much different to the vermilion red of the acrylic acrylic pouring paint that's in here, but it gives you that slight bit of shine with the mica-y reflection in there as well. So that is the 6th different set of the pouring acrylics that you can get in these 4 sets, and don't forget that they are double the size bottles. I've just been showing you my original sized ones for all of the other colour schemes, but you do get them in a double sized bottle, so they're going to last you a really long time. And all of the backgrounds that I've been showing you have been created using a salad spinner, so you can go and check out my salad spinner video to see sort of how I do that, or you can wait until my sped up video is up, creating those actual backgrounds that you've just seen and turning them into cards as well to kind of see how I created them. I think also I'm going to show you quickly how to actually do an acrylic pour with some of these colours as well. So I'll come back with these colours and show you how to do a little acrylic pour as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little dirty cup acrylic pour with this 4 set, which is the Orchid tones, but I also want to try adding in the playful pink iridescent colour into the acrylic pour as well, because I don't think I've actually done any acrylic pouring with these ones. I might have done and I've just forgotten, but I don't think I have. So I'm going to show you how to turn your iridescent acrylic colours into a pouring paint as well. You can use any kind of pouring medium. I'm just going to use Floetrol because I could find this one. I'm not sure where I put my bottle of Liquitex, but I know that Floetrol works really nicely, so I'm going to use the Floetrol. And to do a dirty cup pour, you need a little cup to put all of your paint in to then pour it out onto your project, or we might actually do a flip cup where you flip the cup over and then you release all of the paint. So I would usually use a shorter cup than this, so I'm not sure yet. I might decide to trim this down so that it's not so far for the paint to fall, because as it travels, you know, that long distance, if we're only going to use like this much paint or something, it will start mixing as it's going up and down there. I'm also going to use some white as well, so there isn't white within this colour scheme, but I want the cell kind of effect, so I'm also going to put some white in there too. But let's first show you how I would turn the iridescent acrylic colour into something that would be a good consistency to add in with the pouring paints. So this one is quite thick. I'm going to shake it up and then just pour out a little sort of dollop into there. So that's probably a couple of peas size. And then I'm just going to pour in a little bit of Floetrol as well. You want to shake it up. But you could use pouring medium as well. I know there are loads of different pouring mediums on the market now. Okay, and then pour in just enough to kind of cover the surface of the bottom of the cup, so not too much. And we'll probably have to add a little bit of water as well, because Floetrol is kind of a thick consistency, so we'll probably need a bit of water to water this down a little bit. I would usually use a lolly stick, but I thought I'd just use a palette knife today. Obviously this won't dry as I'm filming this video, but hopefully I will remember to come back and film an extra little clip so that you can see it once it's dried, and I'll sort of insert that in as well, so that you can see the sort of mica that will come through from this one. So yeah, I think that's still too thick, so I'm going to add some water. So I've just got one of these sort of squeezy bottles. If you want to check the consistency to see if it's going to mix nicely, we can actually just take a little bit of one of the paints and already drip it into here, so we can see what we think. Yeah, I still think it needs to be slightly thinner to be the same consistency as the actual pouring paints. So we'll add a tiny bit more water. That should be enough. Okay, so we've now got our iridescent colour mixed up as well. Move that out of the way. And then all we've got to do is layer these into our cup, but I think I will trim this down. So I'm just going to take some scissors and trim into this. Just so it's not quite so high. And then we'll start with a little bit more white in here. Obviously we don't want to make too much because I'm just going to show you it for a sort of background of a card. And then we can just layer in all of the colours. So we'll put some sea green. Then we can put a little bit of our one that we've mixed. Then I think the purple will mix really nicely with that playful pink. So we can put some of the neon purple next. Then we'll put some lavender. Then a little bit more white. And then some neon orange. Then some more of our mixed colour. Just get the rest of that out. And then we can go back through the colours again. So we'll do some more sea green. We're only up to about 5mm on the side of this at the moment. And then we'll do a little bit more white. Then we can do some purple and lavender and a little bit more white. This might do actually 2 backgrounds, but I have got another piece of card ready. And then a little bit more neon orange to finish it off. So we've now got our full cup with 6 different colours in, because we've got the normal white and the playful pink white as well. So there's multiple different ways of doing acrylic pouring, and there's hundreds of videos out there, but you could do a flip cup. But I think because I've cut the top of that off, I think we're just going to do a dirty pour and see what happens. Okay. So we can try and get as big a background out of this as we can, because we should actually be able to make a couple of cards from this. I don't want to drip any of it off because I haven't really got anything on my desk to catch it, but if you were doing this on a canvas, you can drip it off the edges to cover the edges of the canvas as well. And then obviously when you set this to dry, you want to make sure you do it on a level surface, otherwise you might come back and find that you know, all of the paint is on the area that you left it. So I think that looks pretty cool for a pour. So I'm going to put this, I like to just use a cutting plate to put it on to leave it to dry. And then make sure this is on a level surface. I just find that that's, you know, easier because we know this is flat, we know we can wipe it clean, you know, it's just plastic, so if the paint dries on it we can just peel it off as well. So I think I'm just going to leave that on there and put it somewhere level. And then we've got a tiny little bit of paint left in the cup, so I might try and do the sort of letting it all drip down, and we'll see if we can get just like a little extra bit of background. I don't know if there's going to be that much left in there. Might have to scrape it out. But this is what I love about the Arteza pouring paints, is that it's just so easy because all of the colours are already pre-made in the bottle, and it just makes it so quick and easy to create a really cool acrylic poured background. And if you want to do something extra and you haven't quite got enough, you don't have to spend another like half an hour mixing up all of your different colours. You can literally just add some more drops out of the bottles, which is really nice. So I might actually just create some sort of wacky background just using up the excess playful pink, and I might drop in some more colours actually as well. Okay, because we could do a swipe with this. So I could show you a different technique for getting a cool background. So we can just, this is basically what I was doing when I was doing the spinner backgrounds, literally just squeezing out some of the paint. But in this case, we're going to scrape a palette knife over the top of it to turn it into a swipe. And then need some more white. Can do a bit more white on one side and a little bit all over. And then hopefully we can get a good kind of swipey effect. I love this kind of a look. And we've got some beautiful cells in there because of the silicone that we put in the white. Oops, dripping down my palette knife. So you can get some really cool effects with this. And I know this isn't covering that large of a surface, but if you make small cards like I do, that will be like the perfect amount to sit behind a circle aperture on a card. So you can make use of it that way, or you could let it dry like this and trim it into a rectangle and have the messy edges of the paint and make it look like a really cool funky card. Maybe even just some like white die cut butterflies or white with a mirror card shadowing them or something would look really lovely on this. So future me will be back in 1 second to show you them dried. So they're not 100% dry yet. This one was quite thick in the middle, but I don't think that the pre-made pouring paints like mixing with Floetrol because it's gone a bit peculiar. I never really get that sort of a look. It's gone like really weird over here. So maybe it's not the best idea to try and mix them in. I mean, you could just try diluting the iridescent colours down just with a little bit of water to make them a little bit thinner to go along with the pouring paints. I think that would probably work better than trying to mix it in with Floetrol, unless another brand of pouring medium works better. But I don't think the Floetrol agrees with the pre-mixed Arteza pouring acrylics because it's not given the best kind of results. That was the, you know, pouring straight from the cup. And this one was the kind of swipey one. It's gone really weird in the middle here. And there's like a really chunky kind of texture to it as well. So I don't think they really like each other. But I wanted to show you some better versions of using the pouring paints. So I did actually do a couple of extra ones just to show you some better kind of results that you can get with them. And I really love this sort of effect that you can get, and those colours do really mix really nicely together, and you can see that dark red coming through that's on the box that I hadn't really got using it with the salad spinner, but you do actually get that beautiful colour coming through, and you've got this sort of almost lacy effect with the silicone that I put in the white one as well. So these two are actually pressed against each other, so they're the reverse of each other. I did that and then pulled them apart. But this is one of my favourite ways, if I'm doing card making with acrylic pouring, doing the squish it together and pull it apart is one of my favourite ways, because that silicone just in the one colour kind of mixes with all the different colours then, and that's when you get all of these really cool kind of effects coming out really, and you get this sort of veining effect too, which I really love. So that is kind of a better representation of the pouring paints. So maybe don't mix them with the iridescent ones unless you find a different pouring medium that works better, or just sort of watering it down with a little bit of water. So that might be a better way of doing it. And then this was just a kind of swipey sort of one, you see. So this was the swipe here, and I was expecting to get something like this but with the iridescent showing through, and instead it went all chunky and weird. So, and you can't even see the iridescence. I can't actually even see any of that iridescent paint in there. So yeah, doesn't particularly work that well. I'm going to have to experiment with that a bit more, I think, to find something, some way of working with it better. But I do really like this swipey one as well, and I think these kind of backgrounds, it was quite a while ago now when I was first getting into playing with acrylic pouring for card making. It was probably 2 to 3 years ago perhaps. Obviously Arteza didn't have their paints out then, so I was just experimenting with different kind of paints, but the way I like to incorporate these into cards, this one would look absolutely perfect just trimmed down into my favourite size, and even this one would as well. But if you want to make the most out of like a background like this, especially this one because I did it a bit longer, get a circle die that is, you know, sort of half the size of this, and use that to cut an aperture in your card front, and then you could actually get two out of this one piece. And even if you see some of the white card in it, I think that looks like quite a nice extra kind of effect as well. So there are loads of different ways of turning these into beautiful cards as well. So have a look back on my channel. If you just search acrylic pouring, you should come up with at least 2 or 3 sped up videos where I have actually turned them into cards with using sort of these kind of backgrounds. So hopefully that'll give you a little bit of inspiration of how to use these kind of actual sort of poured backgrounds. But don't forget there'll also be a sped up video probably the day after this one that's going to show you how I've turned all of these salad spinner backgrounds into cards as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this up close video looking at the 6 different colourways that these 4 sets of acrylic pouring paints from Arteza now come. You can still get the 32 bottle set, which has all of these different colours, and there are 11 extra colours in this set than what you can get if you bought all 6 of the 4 bottle sets of the larger bottles. And I also wanted to show you the, you know, the size difference between the bottles. So the 32 bottle set, you get 2-ounce bottles or roughly 60 millilitres, but these 4 bottle sets you get 4 fluid ounces or roughly 120 millilitres as well. So they're double the size bottles, and you get them in lovely sets of the 4 different colours as well, which hopefully you will have got a good look at the kind of effects that you can get using the 4 different colours from the specific set. And don't forget, I will put on my blog a list of the name of the set of 4 and also the 4 colours that come in it as well. And I might even like put in brackets at the end the colour that I used from the iridescent acrylic colours as well, that I thought went really nicely with the set too. So obviously don't feel like you have to put the iridescent colours with them, but I just wanted to show you how if the set of 4 that you get doesn't have a metallic colour in it, you can mix it with some other kind of paint that you have. Even the other metallic acrylic paints from Arteza that come in the tubes, you can also squeeze them out and mix them up with Floetrol or a pouring medium in a similar way to I showed you how to do this to give you that metallic kind of finish in your acrylic pour or a salad spinner background as well, like these ones here. So I hope this video was helpful to you. And I hope it just gave you like a little insight into some ways that you can use acrylic pouring paint. Maybe you bought the 32 set but you haven't made use of it as much as you wanted to, but now you might have another idea of how to kind of use it for backgrounds for your greetings cards. Or maybe you've not even tried acrylic pouring yet and you really want to give it a go, but you don't want to spend like 60 quid on the set of 32 paints. You can now buy the little sets of 4 paint for £15, and if you work it out from like a fluid ounce kind of perspective, it is actually the same value, so neither of them is better value. But if you're buying a 4 paint set, you're getting double the amount of each of the 4 colours than if you were just buying the 32 set. You would only get like half the amount of those 4 colours within that set, if that makes sense. But yeah, basically they're both the same value for fluid ounces, which is really nice actually, because a lot of the time I know you save money like buying a bigger set, but sometimes you don't want to buy the bigger set because you don't want all the different colours. So it's nice that you can just buy them in a 4 set, and I think you can buy them individually as well. So I will put a link to the sets of 4. I think you can get them in sets of 8 as well, but I thought the sets of 4 would be sort of more accessible to people if you just want to start trying it. And then I'll also link to the iridescent colours and the 32 set and the individual ones as well. So everything that you might be interested in will be linked below the video, or if you go on my blog to check out the colours that are in the sets of 4, you'll also find picture links to all of them, which might be even easier for you to spot what one you're kind of looking for, because all of the boxes have this kind of like representation of what the colours are. Obviously it depends how you're using the colours to what kind of colours you get out of it. Like what I was saying earlier, this kind of looks like it's got a deep red in there, but it's actually the neon orange mixing with the neon pink to give that deep red colour, and depending on how you use them you might not get that colour in your pour, but it depends what order you kind of layer them on top of each other. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know nobody particularly asked for it, but I just thought it would be quite a fun one to do. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and staying right till the end of the video. I really do appreciate anybody who does watch right till the end. And I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!